The baseball world stopped cold the moment ESPN broke the headline. The Dodgers have reportedly put a staggering $426 million on the table for Kyle Tucker. A deal that size doesn't just shake an offseason, it detonates it. For Los Angeles, it signals an all-out push to build the most loaded lineup in modern baseball, and for Houston, it threatens to rip the heart out of their championship core. As analysts scrambled to react, one question cut through the shock. Are the Dodgers about to steal the Astros franchise pillar right out from under them? His 5.7 fWAR last season immediately became the centerpiece of ESPN's reaction as analysts tried to process how a corner outfielder with that level of all-around value could command a reported $426 million from a franchise already drowning in megadeals. The number itself wasn't what stunned the panel. It was the combination of Tucker's age, his upward trajectory, and the Dodgers' willingness to keep escalating spending despite already operating in the highest competitive balance tax tier. ESPN rolled out the familiar payroll graphic. Betts at $365 million, Freeman at $162 million, Ohtani on a record-breaking deal even with deferrals, Yamamoto at $325 million, Glasnow at over $100 million, and now potentially Tucker, at a price point that sits in the same neighborhood as Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge. They framed it as something bigger than a routine free agent pursuit. This was a direct, calculated shot at an AL franchise's foundational star. The first thing ESPN hammered home was the Dodgers' pattern of paying for both floor and ceiling. Tucker's OPS plus in the 140 to 150 range over the past 3 years jumped onto the screen, along with his blend of power, plate discipline, base running value, and top-end right field defense. One analyst likened his shape to prime Christian Yelich, maybe not as decorated, but with a similarly clean underlying profile, high-quality contact, balanced splits, and a swing that doesn't depend on a single trick. From a business standpoint, they argued, that kind of predictability is exactly what you bet $400+ million on. You're not buying a one-year outlier. You're buying a trend line. From the Dodgers' perspective, ESPN said, this is about building enough WAR to overwhelm variance, especially in October. Tucker's postseason resume, including stretches with an OPS north of .850 and multiple big-game swings, stands in sharp contrast to the Dodgers' recent October flameouts. In their last 2 playoff exits, Los Angeles averaged under 3 runs per game and watched their left-handed bats vanish at exactly the wrong time. Tucker's history against frontline pitching and his positive win probability added in October make him the kind of bat that changes not just a lineup card, but a playoff narrative. The Dodgers aren't thinking about adding 3 regular season wins. They're trying to engineer more trustworthy at-bats when the lights are brightest. Then came the luxury tax conversation. The Dodgers are already deep into the harshest CBT penalties. Adding Tucker at a projected AAV around $38 to $40 million would balloon their tax bill to levels that would scare off almost any other front office. Yet ESPN framed LA as a team that has simply stopped treating the tax as a deterrent. They pointed to the ripple effects of Ohtani's signing, league-leading jersey sales, spikes in local ratings, more national games, and argued that Tucker would further cement the Dodgers as the league's top draw. The logic is simple. If every October game you play pulls massive national numbers, the tax bill becomes part marketing expense, part competitive weapon. One of the most repeated graphics in the segment was Tucker's barrel rate and hard hit percentage, both consistently among the best for left-handed outfielders. Analysts tied those numbers directly to the Dodgers' hitting labs, which preach swing decisions and sustainable contact quality. Tucker's low strikeout rate, rising walk rate, and ability to punish mistakes fit the same model that turned Max Muncy and others into elite offensive pieces. Several voices on the panel suggested that in Los Angeles, with even deeper data and support, Tucker's already impressive StatCast page might get even better. Defensively, ESPN reminded viewers that Tucker isn't just a bat. His outs above average metrics and reads in right field put him near the top of the position. They floated a comp to early career Mookie Betts, not in style, but in impact. Smart routes, reliable jumps, above average arm, plus base running. Tucker's sprint speed has dipped slightly, but the panel chalked that up more to workload than age. The bigger point was clear. LA doesn't put $426 million on a one-dimensional slugger. They're targeting a legitimate two-way star. Houston's side of the discussion was much darker. Tucker has been worth around 5 to 6 WAR per season in an AL West that has gotten significantly tougher. Remove that level of production, and the Astros lineup suddenly looks top-heavy and fragile. ESPN flashed a Tucker-less depth chart, an aging Altuve and Bregman, Alvarez bearing most of the slugging load, and no obvious heir apparent in the outfield pipeline. They also noted that games built around Tucker, bobblehead nights, rivalry series, big ESPN Sunday slots, tend to draw some of Minute Maid Park's most reliable crowds. Losing him would mean losing WAR, wins, and a major share of the franchise's identity and marketability. That's where the philosophical tension came up. Houston has let Springer, Cole, and Correa walk rather than cross certain financial lines. Their model has been develop, dominate, and replace. Tucker tests the limits of that formula. The Dodgers' reported offer forces the Astros into a choice they've long avoided: evolve into a franchise that occasionally hands out a megadeal, or watch another cornerstone walk for nothing. ESPN labeled it a defining moment, a chance for Houston to either reassert its ambition or slide quietly toward a new, less intimidating phase. The significance of this moment becomes clearer when you zoom out and look at the balance of power in both leagues. Tucker isn't just another star, he's Houston's stabilizer, the quiet engine in a lineup built around louder names. His 140-plus WRC+ over multiple seasons has been the difference between dangerous and inevitable. Pull him out, and ESPN's model suggested Houston's run environment could drop by several tenths of a run per game. That's the kind of swing that can flip an 88-92 win team into an 80-84 win one. Suddenly, the Rangers and Mariners don't just think they can compete, they think they can seize control of the division. In Los Angeles, the immediate impact is equally dramatic. The Dodgers already roll out a lineup with a team OPS above .800. What they've lacked recently is a left-handed bat they trust entirely against ace-level pitching. Tucker's October track record and high-leverage performance directly fill that gap. Swapping out a league-average outfield bat for Tucker in projection systems pushes the Dodgers' playoff odds up meaningfully because it makes their worst-case offensive scenarios less likely. October is chaos, but chaos tilts toward teams with more reliable plate appearances. Timing is everything. Ohtani is hitting his offensive prime, Freeman is still producing like an MVP, and Betts' positional flexibility gives the Dodgers absurd lineup optionality. Yamamoto is supposed to be a long-term ace. Tucker, entering his late 20s, slots perfectly into that 5-year championship window. ESPN essentially framed it like this: very few free agents become available whose peak lines up almost exactly with your title arc. When one does, and your models love him, you swing as hard as you can. Houston's timing couldn't be worse. Their farm system is no longer a top 10 juggernaut. Most evaluators have it in the lower half of the league. That means there's no next Tucker waiting in AAA. Altuve and Bregman are aging. Pena is still streaky with the bat. Alvarez can't carry a lineup alone. Internally, projections reportedly show a huge gap between what Tucker brings and what any internal option could realistically replace. That's why ESPN kept using words like structural and existential. Losing a mid-prime 5-6 WAR outfielder now is not a hiccup, it's a possible pivot point for the entire franchise. The NL West context matters too. The Padres are recalibrating. The Giants keep swinging and missing on superstars. Arizona is dangerous, but not as deep. Colorado is rebuilding. The Dodgers see an opportunity to turn a strong division into one they can control for years. With Tucker, Betts' versatility, and Ohtani at DH, projections have already suggested LA could sniff the 110-win mark again if the rotation stays mostly intact. Their 2022 run differential was plus 334. Adding Tucker moves them closer to that kind of historic territory. Layer on top the rule changes. The shift band and larger bases have been a hidden gift for hitters like Tucker, left-handed, disciplined, with line drive power and the ability to take extra bases. His contact quality and approach are perfectly tuned for a game that no longer allows extreme infield shifts and that rewards quick decisions against a pitch clock. ESPN's point was simple: the environment is evolving toward players like Tucker and teams that understand that are racing to lock them up. Now zoom into the comparison lens. ESPN didn't just say Tucker is great, they showed who he resembles. Yelich in his peak years. Harper as he matured into his Philly contract. Freeman's aging curve. Beltran's combination of offense, defense, and October moments. The comps all share a theme: left-handed hitters with balanced profiles who aged far better than the stereotype. Tucker's rolling xWOBA has stayed elite despite fluctuating league offense and rising velocity. His WAR floor, consistently around 5, is the kind of number we usually associate with Hall of Fame conversations a decade later. Among his current peers, Tucker quietly sits in the same WAR neighborhood as Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Julio Rodriguez, but with fewer strikeouts and more defensive value than most of them. Soto doesn't bring plus defense. Acuna's knees introduce risk. Rodriguez is still smoothing out the offensive volatility. Alvarez is a monster bat, but comes with durability flags. Tucker is the guy you can pencil in for strong numbers in all phases every year. That steadiness is exactly what makes the Dodgers comfortable pushing toward $426 million, especially when their own stars, like Betts and Freeman, are also defined by consistency. The team-building philosophy contrast might be the sharpest of all. The Astros built a machine through the draft, development, and ruthless efficiency. The Dodgers built one too, but layered on top of it a willingness to add the most expensive pieces in the sport. Houston's farm has slipped to the back half of the league. The Dodgers' farm remains stubbornly strong, even while they pick late and trade prospects. As ESPN pointed out, a shallow system can't afford to lose a superstar without spiraling. A deep one can add superstars and keep going. Los Angeles also treats megadeals as strategic tools. Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, Yamamoto. Those contracts are huge, but they create a clear, predictable salary spine. Houston has historically treated those deals as landmines. That philosophical gap explains almost everything about why we're even talking about Tucker leaving. One team believes it can buy inevitability. The other fears paying for decline. All of that feeds into the deeper context: front office identity, ownership behavior, and how each organization has changed. Houston's once-feared analytics apparatus has lost people and momentum. The Dodgers' modeling and development machine keeps growing. ESPN's underlying message was blunt. When the smartest, richest team in the sport zeroes in on a specific player, it's usually not a guess. It's conviction. Then there's legacy and psychology. At Dodger Stadium, landing Tucker would feel like the final piece in a super team puzzle. It would be a way to answer years of great in the regular season, then in October, criticism with overwhelming, relentless talent. In Houston, losing Tucker would feel like something else entirely. The clear sign, yet, that the signature era of Astros dominance is winding down. Correa, Springer, and Cole were brutal losses, but the team kept winning. Tucker represents the spine of their current and future identity. Letting him walk could fundamentally change how the fan base views ownership's commitment. The future implications reach beyond these two teams. If Tucker gets anything close to $426 million, every star hitter behind him in the free agent queue benefits. Juan Soto's market explodes. Future extensions for franchise faces, Rutschman, Witt Jr., and others, start from an even higher baseline. ESPN called it a market reset moment, the same way A-Rod's or Trout's contracts once were. Tucker doesn't just cash in for himself. He may raise the tide for the next generation of elite position players. For MLB as a whole, a fully assembled Dodgers super team would become the league's main character. More national games, more primetime windows, more October storylines built around Los Angeles. That creates pressure on other large market clubs to respond and forces mid-markets to double down on development and creativity. The Dodgers effect is real. When one team shows how far it can push the system, everyone else has to decide whether to chase or pivot. In the end, everything about this moment feels bigger than a contract figure. When ESPN reacted to the Dodgers dropping a $426 million offer for Kyle Tucker, the shock wasn't only about the money, it was about what the offer symbolizes. It marks the collision of two organizational identities, the Dodgers leaning fully into an era of aggressive, dynasty-level spending, and the Astros standing on the edge of a decision that could define the next decade of their franchise. Tucker sits at the crossroads of both futures, a player whose value extends beyond WAR totals and into the very structure of how two powerhouses see themselves. If he chooses Los Angeles, the Dodgers may complete the most overwhelming lineup of the modern era. If he stays in Houston, the Astros preserve their core and avoid the first true fracture of their golden age. But whichever direction this saga turns, the ripple effects will echo across the league, through free agency, through division races, through the way teams value balanced production in a post-shift, pitch clock era. This isn't just a test of spending power. It's a test of vision, timing, and identity. So now the debate belongs to you. Is Kyle Tucker worth $426 million in today's MLB landscape? And if you're the Astros, how far would you go to keep him?